When you talk about racism, you know, my wife being from East Texas.
Oh man!
I mean, I know it's just for her talking about it.
Oh man!
It dominates.
We had a place called a Kildare Cozy Kitchen with 3 Ks.
I told him about that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And didn't nobody
So
go in. I never seen nobody go in there of color.
Right.
We also had place. I had friends that got hung and nobody know how they got there, and they said he committed suicide deep in the woods.
That's right.
Wow.
You know, we had situations where things happened all the time where, you know, you knew that you could get credit at this store, but then you knew already to stay in your place. This is the things that we came up around, you know what I mean? But I felt it was better, and I don't know if you agree with this, but there was a time when blacks stayed where blacks stayed, and they dealt with black-owned business owners. And I remember those days, and I treasure those times. I mean, like the black barbershop, the black store owners, the black, and we stayed in our place, kind of like what this shirt represents, you know, where the Oklahoma thing, where it talks
Black
about
Wall
how,
Street,
I mean, we had a time period where, when I was a kid, I remember in Smithland, where my dad was from, I remember that Bubba Lane store, and I remember the Mr. Luther, and I remember the different ones, the Skeeter Lang or C.D. Weaver, Wood Company.
Absolutely,
so
I remember that.
I remember that time, and that time was a good time for me, because I felt like that was entrepreneurship, just in a different time, in a different way that represented our people. And I think we needed that, and I think we need it now, actually.
We need it even more now.
Yeah.
And what's funny is because me growing up in Oak Cliff, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't, and that's you know, we got a 13-year age difference. Like, she's 13 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I'm a millennial. She's Gen X.
Gen Z,
or for sure.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
And so what she saw and grew up around is totally different from what I didn't see black businesses, right?
Wow.
We didn't see a lot of the family unit. We were seeing more broken homes start coming in the early 90s and everything. And so I'm the crack generation, really.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And so we didn't see that. We didn't see a lot of businesses and people together and family units. It's like, for me, I was an anomaly, you know, to have both of my parents and my brothers and sisters all in the house. I mean, and it's funny because, you know, the visceral that I got from growing up in Oak Cliff, you know, it has this negative moniker that it's the hood. You know, we got songs about it. You know, Oak Cliff, that's my hood.
Yeah. Look, Kid sung it on Flash.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so it has this reputation of being the hood and being just, you know, low the bar, just the bottom. But it's not that, you know. And for me, though, it was tough because I was artistic, I was a creative, I was well spoken, and that was frowned upon, unfortunately. If I didn't come, you know, my hat turned backwards and, you know, talking fly, blah blah blah, it was like, oh, nigga, you gay, something wrong with you, or you don't, I didn't fit. So for me, it was awkward growing up in Oak Cliff, and I'll be honest, earlier in my life, I had angst against Oak Cliff or against where I was from, because it didn't accept me. It didn't accept the different in me. You know what I'm saying? And so I wasn't, I didn't have this bravado where I had to go off and show off being macho, being a man. I was just artsy. I was just, you know, I was just that cat. I was well spoken. I was, you know, it was yes sir, no sir for me. And so how my parents even raised us, we got teased, we got talked about, you know, as if, oh, we trying to be something that we not. You know, you talk white. Yeah, you know, so I got that a lot. So when you get that a lot from where you from.
But how did you deal with that peer pressure?
Well, I had a strong father. And so what I would do is I would come home and be able to tell my dad, Pops, I'm going through this. You know, they don't understand me. Why people? And my dad, he was an artist. He was articulate. So he would just instill in me, son, you just different. God just built you different. And your outlook on the world is different. And so people are not going to understand it. They're not going to understand where you're coming from. You know, just being arts. It's like, I love to read books. Well, we as black people at the time, we couldn't read books. We would get beat if we read books. So I didn't understand why we were not accepting of the fact that, oh, I can read books, I'm articulate, I'm smart, I'm an A student. Why do we frown on that, but then we esteem the negativity of our culture? We esteem, yeah, nigga, what's up, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't understand. I didn't get that. And so I grew to kind of resent where I was from when I was younger. And so meeting my wife, I actually prayed for my wife. I actually prayed in about 2003. I was dating this young lady in Hawaii, and she was a Filipino, exotic looking young girl. I thought she was the one. She was beautiful and everything. And I had prayed though about a year before I met my wife, and I wrote down a 4-page letter of what I wanted in a wife. And I was explicit. Like I said, God, if I can't be 100 with you, who can I be 100 with? And so it was physical, emotional, mental, everything, sexual on that list. And I met her in 2004, and I didn't know she was going to be my wife. Of course I didn't. And she was coming out of a tumultuous, marriage. She had a daughter already, so it wasn't ideal for me. But when I say God answered my letter to a T, I mean to a T. We can keep it real. I mean, there's a certain kind of woman that I wanted as cup size. I'm like, Lord, I like that voluptuousness,
And she came with that cup size.
She came with that cup size.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Return to what did you plan it?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't plan this
I get it.